We want to give you a closer look at what the videos show, slowing some of it and pushing in to get a better view. We want to warn you that some of the video is hard to watch. This video shows Alex Pretti face to face with a federal agent on Nicollet Avenue. He's holding a phone as the agent pushes him toward the sidewalk. Another angle shows Pretti walking into the street, helping to direct traffic. When an agent pushes a woman into a snowbank, he goes to help. That's when the agent begins spraying Pretti in the face. It's when Pretti goes to help the woman again, several agents grab him and throw him down.
Honestly.
From this angle, you can see Pretti being held down. You can see an agent in a gray jacket approach with empty hands, while other agents appear to be hitting Pretti.
Hey, that is police brutality. They are hitting that observer.
The man in gray appears to pull something from Pretti's waist. Then, the first shot. You can hear at least 10 shots after that.
What did you just do?
The agents back away, but return.
Come on.
In this video, you can hear what they are saying.
Right in front of Lion Dog Donuts, all right in front of here. This is where it all happened.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Tent podcast, where we bring you the latest in the Midwest. My name is Panda. I will be hosting this evening, along with
Your boy Eddie Kane.
and we got our special guest, Momma E, in the building.
Right.
Today we will be going over what's been happening in Minnesota, because y'all, it's been a doozy. It's been crazy. We'll be going over what's been going on with that. We'll be going over what happened with the shooting that happened in Minnesota today. And we will also be going over our constitutional rights as American citizens. Let's first get into what's been going on up here. So I want to say it started actually sometime last year with ICE coming to Minnesota and their presence being here, detaining what they called illegal immigrants, detaining all these criminals and thieves and rapists and all these things, these labels that President Trump is putting on them. And they've been going to schools, jobs, people's homes, door to door, completely violating people's rights. Okay? Let's just be honest about it. They're completely violating people's rights. It's been going on for weeks, and then it really came to a boiling point when they murdered a civilian. Eddie Kane, will you take that part for me? Explain to the people what happened
Today?
with Renee Good.
Well, on January 7th of this year, Renee Good got shot by ICE agents trying to film, and they say she ran, and they say she tried to run into an ICE agent, but film never lies, and the video shows clearly she was actually trying to get out the way, and they shot her 3 times in the face. And ever since then, the city has been mad, very, very mad, and it's just been reaching into a boiling point.
Shoot, I think mad is an understatement. The city is at least we're not burning things down, okay? But it's almost to that point.
Well, it's gonna get to that point.
They've just recently brought in the National Guard. We're actually live on the scene where, what's his name, Alex Pretti was killed. Earlier today is January 24th. They killed him early in the morning. Mind you, they were out there protesting Renee Good's murder, actually, and that's how he ended up getting murdered. Now, in that situation, he saw, he was out there recording, as he's allowed to do. He was out there recording. He had his firearm on him, which he's allowed to have because he's a licensed gun owner, right? The video shows, from what we can see, from I'm going to speak for myself, from what I saw in the video, it showed that he was recording. ICE agents came up and was being very aggressive, telling them to move back. They pushed a woman, literally was standing over her. There was more than one agent. I'm talking about, it was like, 5-6 agents at that point surrounding these people. Pushed the woman down to the ground. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Alex Pretti was like, hold on, tried to help the lady up. They're pushing him down, trying to get him down to the ground. He's trying to help the lady up. The lady gets up, gets out the way, but they grabbed him, pulled him to the side, tackled him down, and I mean, they commenced to beating his ass like his name was Rodney King. Okay, they took his firearm out of his waistband, out of his holster, and tossed it to the side and proceeded to shoot that man. Okay, that's what we're seeing in the video. Am I right? Correct?
Yep.
Okay. So, according to CBS News, they're saying that video from the scene verified by CBS News shows that Pretti was holding phone in his right hand and nothing in his left before he was shot. Multiple videos show that the federal agent in a gray jacket reached into the scuffle empty-handed, emerged with a gun in his right hand, turning away from the man when the first shot was fired. Then ran across the street, more shots was fired. That's what they're saying happened on the news. Coincides with pretty much what I'm saying is what happened. Y'all, I'm mad. I'm mad. And there's no other way to put it. Everybody in Minnesota is feeling the exact same way because now we're not allowed to bear arms? We're not allowed to record unconstitutional shit? Like, we not allowed to... I mean, what is happening?
I don't know. You guys have anything to say?
What's happening, it's this administration, honestly, I think, and this is just my opinion, is just taking revenge and retribution tweet that he did over the you-know-who did at the beginning of the year. When he said retribution, we didn't know it was coming to Minneapolis. Minneapolis is basically, we're everything that this man hates. We are the DEI, the diversity, equity, inclusion. I mean, that's how our city, that's how our state's always been. And it just and then now the political extortion from the Attorney General, it just really is wild. All this, we can take away ICE. It's like dangling a carrot. We can take away ICE, but you got to give up your voting rolls, which he better not. The governor better not give up.
Okay.
I don't think he is.
Not give up them voting rolls for nothing. So that's what I think about what's going on here, and it's sad.
And can you explain to the people what voter rolls are?
The voter registration, our names, and how we vote, our voting pattern, etc. And he wants that information. And see, we got the midterms coming up. That's so they can get their grubby hands on it, so they can rig the midterms. Because we do not vote. We did not vote for him. This is the third time.
We never vote for him.
We never vote for him. Like, no, you're a no-no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I think. This is all political theater. And, I mean, if it's mighty funny this is supposed to be an immigration issue, but you're killing Americans.
Right.
Literally. And not just idiot Americans. White Americans.
And I'm just perplexed, like, but it's white, but it's white,
It's not us aside.
Right, and it's white Americans that don't follow that bullshit Trump agenda. Mm-hmm. That white Christian nationalist bullshit. So that's what's funny.
What do you think is going to happen after the death of Alex
Pretti, yeah.
Well, it's happening now. You know, they kill. You know, they kill him twice. You know what I mean? First, he gets killed, executed, because that was the execution that we saw, and then again, we assassinate the character. Like I was telling my sons, the younger sons, I said, "Now look, this happened about 9 something." I said, "I bet you by 12 noon, here come old girl, Miss Thing, coming up there with that bullshit."
and
Absolutely.
who's
And
Miss Thing for
definitely-
the viewers who don't know?
Christy known, but I call her the Botex Barbie, and then you can tell her I said that.
Okay. It said they said on CBS News that let's see, DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said in statements that agents fired defensive shots after individuals approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
I ain't seen no gun.
Okay, did you see one when
I
he
don't
walked
even know
up?
if
Because
a
I
gun
could
was
have
even
swore.
recovered. I could have sworn he took the guy's, and if he did have a gun,
What-
pretty sure the guy, the
standing
ICE
like
agent
this.
took his gun and shot him with it.
Exactly.
No, he didn't.
He didn't shoot him with it.
His gun. They shot him with their own guns.
Yeah, they took his gun out of his waistband. They actually have a slowed down video, which I will try to incorporate a clip in here. They produced a slowed down video of him actually pulling the gun out of his holster, tossing it to the side, stepping back, and firing into that man.
Wow.
All the while getting his ass whooped.
All the while he getting his ass whooped, pepper
That's
spray
why I was
can
like,
and
damn,
everything.
that's enough.
Like they've been aggressive and overly violent with the protesters, like since day one.
No morals at all. None. Nothing.
None. And they are the DHS is trying to pretty much say, oh, he was violent, he was aggressive, he was attacking people, he was doing this, he was doing that, trying to make it seem like their ICE agents didn't antagonize the situation. Because when I say antagonize the situation, they were standing off to the side recording. Now we could all see that from the videos that was released from right here in Minneapolis. We're not going off of what the news stations gave us. We're going off the people that was on the ground, and we can provide those videos too. I'm gonna have them playing hopefully in the background of this video when it's posted on YouTube. So stay tuned for that as well.
I gotta ask y'all something. So we're a country that has historically been like the Captain America of the world. When other countries are dealing with this, we go in and we eliminate that because we have a don't tolerate that dictatorship mindset. But now it's us tolerating it. Like, so why are we okay with that?
I can't say
Because we have other people in the country that are KK with it, and I want to say they actually endorse what the president is doing and what everything he's doing. That's why most countries, they don't have, if they know it's a bad president, then everybody knows it's a bad president. You don't get half the country like, well, he's doing a good job. This one is why, and that's why, in my opinion.
Also, a lot of misinformation
I was gonna
and
say
miseducation. I mean, I have argued with some of them trolls. Like I said something on Don Lemon's, I forgot to tell you, the other day. All I said was, well, why is Speedway why are service people like us, why are we serving these people? Because, I'm sorry, I'm going to put on the record right now, you gets Nathan.
Yeah, I ain't serving nothing.
I ain't serving
Bartender, I'm
nothing.
not serving nothing.
Ice come up, no, goodbye.
But my job.
And all I
is
said was, why is Speedway serving these agents if they're, if it's so much chaos and all that, if you know what's going on? Honey, the right-wing trolls, them motherfuckers is at it, coming at, and it's a lot of misinformation, just what they're saying about Minnesota and Minneapolis, and I'm like, I'm not even, believe it or not, I didn't respond. I didn't cuss them out.
And it's hard to not
it's the
respond.
misinformation, and that's just like,
But that's what they do. They flood the internet with misinformation.
That part.
They flood the media with misinformation. They try to make us all sound like we crazy. They're trying to gaslight us. And you know what playbook that comes out of? We all know what's happening and what's coming next. So that's when I need to reevaluate my life and like, now I could have sworn in the Constitution it says that y'all not allowed to do this to us.
Yeah.
Right? So that brings me into the next topic of, what does our Constitution say? What does our Constitution say? And how many of our constitutional rights are being violated currently as we speak?
We all know the second is the bear arms, the right to bear arms. You see how today played out.
It played out with the first one, you know.
The first and the
being
second
exercised.
one. Yeah, the first and second one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all this is just, like I said, political theater.
It's absolutely political theater.
It's political theater. It's
because they get so upset
crazy.
and up in arms when we try to take away their right to bear arms, or try to even, and I can't even say take away their right to bear arms, to even have a little gun control. We ask for a little bit of gun control, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're trying to take away my guns." Like, no, babe.
We'll back it up a little bit, like on the First Amendment. Even during when the police are doing an investigation, we're to be 10 feet back. Which, if you look at all the footage where people are literally 10 feet back and beyond, and they'll make a comment exercising their First Amendment rights, and then ICE will actually exceed that 10 feet comment and physically engage and chase people. Well, they're not even being held responsible for doing that.
Yes, and there's been just today was like a handful of, like, just on the video that was recorded of the shooting. Right after that, 2 people were immediately arrested just for standing there trying to record it. Hopefully that woman got out of there safely.
And they took her to the Whipple building.
yeah.
Oh.
And the Whipple building is where they hold people at, right?
Yeah.
Where
they've been detaining people.
Citizens and
That's not the whole purpose of Whipple building. That's our federal.
Yeah, I know it's not the purpose, but that's what they're detaining people at. I always wanted to know where do they bring people. You know what I'm saying? You when they arrest you.
Oh, I know.
So it's the Whipple building. Okay.
Yeah, from Minneapolis, and then they got St. Paul.
And those who don't know, there's been protests every day at the Whipple building. And it's been going down every day ever since ICE came into Minnesota.
Yeah, just about. They did a protest. What was it on? I want to say it was on the 23rd, or was that the 21st? Correct me if I'm wrong.
About what?
They had a ICE out protest.
23rd.
It was the 23rd.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! When I say the biggest turnout I've ever seen for a protest,
And
we outdid Washington.
This was yesterday for those. This is Saturday, but going into Sunday. But it was Friday at 2 p.m. is when it happened. The protest, and everybody, all the businesses shut down in Minnesota. Everybody stood in solidarity, and to me, it feels like, and then the next day you kill somebody, it feels like they're playing in our face.
Absolutely.
All the
It's
way.
insane.
Definitely.
And to circle back to when I was saying, like, they're violating our constitutional rights, let me go down to the first few, just a handful, so y'all understand why I'm saying that they're violating our constitutional rights. In the Bill of Rights, in the first 1 through 10 amendments, first one, freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition, right? They're literally telling us you can't do that. If we catch you out here and you're too close, even though them people were standing 10 feet back and they advancing on them, oh, we can arrest you. That's not lawful. That's not right. Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. That man had right to bear arms. He was a legal license to carry a gun holder. I have that license too. A lot of us have that license. So you mean to tell us, shoot, if we go outside with our guns and we're standing somewhere 10 feet away from police, we could just lose our lives just like that with no due process? That's violating our rights. They can't execute us in the streets for doing what they said we're allowed to do. That's insane. Fourth Amendment right. Protection against unreasonable search and seizure. They have been busting into businesses with no warrants. They've been busting into people's homes with no warrants. They are saying that they're getting these warrants, that they have these warrants, but are showing people blank pieces of paper. And that's been proven quite a few times, and that's why a couple people had to get released and had to be let go. Like that Black Liberian man, that honestly, I ain't know he was Liberian. Known him for years.
Did I?
Okay? Seen that man multiple times through my life.
He got out
He's
of jail
Liberian?
too.
Oh, yep, I seen that. They had to let him go.
Good.
They had to let him go.
Yeah, how they broke into this house was just wild.
They're snatching up people that are literally in the process of getting their citizenship.
Your kids too. 5-year-old Liam. I forgot his last name.
They're taking people's kids and telling the parents of the kid, we have your kids, and they're luring the parents outside so they can capture the parents.
Yeah,
They're going lower than low. Like this is worse than any administration has ever done.
It's just like the Gestapo and Hitler. Literally. It's exactly like
And
it.
the thing that's, to me, that's the most aggravating is that the MAGA Trump supporters will say, well, Obama has deported more people.
Oh God!
Oh, I
But here's the
love
thing
that
that- but here's
argument.
the
Yes, that argument.
So the dumb, like this made me so irritated and so mad because every person that administration deported was processed properly. There was never anybody getting killed, shot, doors kicked in, none of that. They had names, warrants, justification, brought them in, made sure that they were arresting the right person, processing the right person, and make sure that yes, you did break this law. They went through the whole setup. Once everything was verified, they were deported. Now, like today, my son was at a barbershop in Big Lake getting his hair cut. They came busting in the place, scaring everybody. Luckily some people got my son out of there, and they took the barber, who is literally an American citizen from Puerto Rico, has paperwork and everything. He is right now, he probably just landed. They took him, threw him on a plane. He's in Texas right now at a detention center.
Oh my God.
That's insane.
This happened
because Puerto
today.
Rico is part of the
Part of the
United
U.S.
States.
Where are you gonna deport him? Back on the U.S. soil?
So
You
at this
stupid.
point, if you speak a little bit of Spanish, watch
Oh
out.
my God.
Because what?
And the people are also reporting that ICE are knocking on people's doors, asking where "quote unquote" minorities live. Like they're going on knocking on the door. Where are the Asian people at? They're literally asking.
Wow.
They're literally asking people this.
That's
And then they go back and say that
insane.
this is not race related. Like,
But it seems pretty race related, especially when they pulled that native couple. Or they not even a couple. It was a native lady and her nephew.
Yeah.
Literally, we're trying to
That
pull
was
him
so
up out the car,
heartbreaking, like,
punch the
whoa.
boy in the face. I'm like, dang, y'all didn't have to hit him. Y'all didn't have to do all that. And their First Nation, they are the original people,
there's
and y'all are
people still
targeting
missing.
them.
There's 3 First Nation people still missing through the ICE system right now.
Jesus.
And it's like the genocide is starting all over again. Let's not pretend that this country is
And I
squeaky
just saw an
clean.
activist just mention that too. You know what I mean? And this was a white guy that said that, and he was like, "This is them trying to finish off
what they started.
what they started 500 years ago." And I'm sick, just sick. You know, these midterms. I mean, yeah, we can do the midterms, but I really believe it's gonna be some shit between now. I mean, God, where was it? January 24th, 25th?
Yeah.
We got what? 10 months left for it's gonna be one hell of a 10 months. And if this month,
We still
go.
got
Shit, if we
3
survive
more
this
years.
10 months, it's on them.
We still got 3 years of dealing with this president and
2.
administration.
We shouldn't have like this. See,
2 and 10
that's what I don't get, man. Like, especially in the suburbs of Minnesota. Okay, all these people, especially these men, that are making these comments like they're just so pro-Trump, and they all have daughters.
You never know, man.
Just on the moral issues, like you have a daughter,
Yeah.
right? And these women are speaking up, saying that this man did these heinous things to these kids when they were 11-year-old boy, 12-year-old girls. There's photos, videos, statements. These people have been paid off, and these people, and Trump could literally burn a cross with Jesus' statued image on there, and they would still support him. Mm-hmm. Like, what the hell happened to your brain that you just can't think? Morally, you can't think.
Yeah.
You can see that what we're doing, the entire world is affected by it. The entire world is looking at us like, why are y'all still dealing with him? If we didn't like our president, y'all will come take them out.
Yeah.
Just like he did with Venezuela. He
That
literally,
was wild.
yeah, like he literally was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go snatch up their president. I'm just gonna go snatch him up because I don't like what he's doing down there, and I want his oil."
So viewers, if you're watching this, we would encourage you to definitely come and join in with your fellow Minnesotans and join the fight and protest and care about your community.
Absolutely. There's
That's
many
what I
ways
said.
that you can contribute to the community and the cause and what's going on. You can donate. You can come out here and march. You can come out here and provide milk and water because they are macing the holy heck out of these people.
Or you could just simply be there.
That helps too.
One thing I want to say is, don't believe the narrative about Minneapolis. You know, don't believe none of them what they say about Minnesota and Minneapolis. I mean, Minneapolis is all love. I mean, I was just out there at the memorial. Some woman's trying to give me some sandwiches, and I was like, no, but give somebody, you know, whatever.
Been out here
But
all
that's
day,
just
you
an
know?
example, you know, of that narrative of. I just hope the narrative of Minneapolis ain't changed or, you know, thought of as negative. You know,
Right.
I miss when I used to say I'm from Minneapolis. First thing that come up is Prince, so I want to still keep that.
Because honestly,
Momentum.
since the George Floyd thing,
Man.
I get the most mixed reactions when I
So
go out of
right.
state. I went to Vegas that year. That lady looked at me so crazy when I said I'm from Minnesota. She was like,
Like he was about to tear
"Will
it down.
you be safe?" And I'm like, "What?" Like people have a very skewed idea of what's happening here. Like, we're not just going off the rails, tearing our shit up for no reason. It's never for no reason.
But there's the thing that I even spoke to one of the guys from CNN Reporters. Everybody's saying that Minnesota tore the city up. It wasn't us.
It really wasn't.
I've got so much footage that I wish I could give out and put out, because literally, they were taking pallets of bricks and dropping them off in the middle of the street, all through South Minneapolis. These big country white dudes with these big ass trucks
And
full
the
of
dude in the red pickup truck that was circling in there.
I
I was about to say,
they were
I remember
full
that.
of dead Christmas trees.
Yep.
And they were setting buildings on fire. They were blocking the fire departments from coming in, and they were saying, "Oh, you know, the citizens of Minneapolis is doing this." No, that wasn't. That
And
was
mind
like
you,
the
that
first
started
thing.
happening hours after the protesters were already out there, the
Yeah.
peaceful ones. These were people that were coming in from out of state. We're seeing license plates from all over the place that day. A lot of Wisconsin, a lot of Chicago, a lot of Iowa, a lot of like
North
the
Dakota.
Fargo. All of these very conservative white type of places were descending upon Minneapolis, but it wasn't just them. It was a lot of protesters coming along with them too. That was trying to protect our places, like KMOJ building. We had to have that on lock ourselves. And thank goodness that we had people out there protecting our community, because they were trying to take us out. And that's what tends to happen every time we stand up for our rights here.
Yep.
We try to say, hey, what they're doing to us is wrong. Here come all these people from everywhere else with their 2 cents and they opinions and they thoughts of what they seen on the media, and they bring it here.
It's crazy. It's the calm. Tomorrow they're going to be back out here, back at it, protesting and covering, making sure they're protecting the community and chasing ICE about the state, because that's going to be the goal of the year until they get up out of here.
You know what doesn't make any sense to me? Like, first of all, Homeland Security thing was made up or created after 9/11.
Yes.
Right. And ever since then, Homeland Security. First of all, we survived all these years without Homeland Security, but now we have to feel like we have to have Homeland Security. It's a stupid, unnecessary expense, because we survived that long without it. And now that we have it, we have inexperienced people and not very intelligent people running it. Because if I'm at the national level, federal level, regardless of if a person is Republican, Democratic, Independent, at the end of the fucking day, you're a countryman first. I don't give a fuck who you voted for, who you believe in first. So when you see all this shit going on, and you're at the fucking top, and you're seeing people are rioting, or not rioting but protesting, and people are getting hurt, and families getting separated. How much common sense do you have to have as a grown ass person? Like, you know what? Hold on. Everybody go back to your hotel room. We need to reevaluate how the hell we're doing this. And this is, we're not, like, this isn't right. So everything that's going on, if anybody's any ounce of intelligence in them, this is literally on purpose. On purpose. Because like they're how they're with their deflecting comments of saying like how all the other presidents before deported. Yes, the hell we did. 100%.
They did it the right way.
They did it the right way. I didn't have to fucking worry about going out if my kids were in school, if a bunch of people with the cowboy mentality was going to go into a middle school and drag kids out of school. Everybody got deported in the past. It was coming, and they were coming directly to that person, for that person. They weren't randomly picking out, well, today we're going to go after black people. Today we're going to make sure we kill a bunch of white women. This is literally what's going on right now.
Yes, there are so many videos out there of them walking up to Somali people at their jobs. I'm talking about driving Uber. They walked to that man and was like, "You look suspicious. Let me see your ID." He's like, "I'm sitting here with the Uber sign on in the Uber parking lot, waiting to get somebody a ride. What do you mean? Like, that can't be tolerated. That's insane."
And I'm gonna tell you something, like, if people like really study the English language, there's so many words that they can just say nationally and internationally that are so racist, but it's so smooth how they say it just goes right over people's heads, right? So, for instance, the word suspicious. So if you ask, like, if you really look at it, like, you like a suspicious person compared to who?
Exactly.
Who am I suspicious compared to?
Right.
And you know the default answer.
Yeah.
Right. So if,
Yep.
You know what I mean? So and then because before, like when Miss E was, when she was coming up, how everybody's upset with Mexicans coming over to working. Back then in the 80s when they had farm aid, all the Hispanic people that came across to work and all these farm stuff, they were called migrant workers.
Yeah.
Reagan and all them didn't have a problem with them being here. They were migrant workers. They migrated in from Mexico, did their work, and then they went home. It wasn't a problem, right? But now, what happened is the U.S. started producing too much food, way too much food, and the stocks they weren't making the money because we had an excessive surplus of food. So how do we get rid of that? We gotta start cutting down on the migrant workers. We gotta make them a problem. That's how all this stuff started. Because it was never a problem. Because you name one state where white people and black people are protesting outside of a fucking farm about not being able to get a job there. It sounds funny, but name it.
Yeah.
Who's ever seen a protest? Oh, you need to hire us. You've never seen it, or you never seen black people and white people protesting outside of Marriott because they want a job and they're pissed off that Mexicans and Cubans are working in these hotels. You've never seen it. All the jobs that these people are doing jobs that these people would not want to do in the first goddamn place, but they need something to complain about.
Yeah.
They gave them a target. That's all this is. They gave them somebody to blame.
And the thing is like I'm telling you, 9/11. If you look at everything that's ever happened to this country, every time something drastic happens directly to this country, the most racist person will cry on a black person's neck. A black person will cry on the most racist person's neck. Everybody starts, you know what? Fuck this. We all live together. We're gonna get through this shit together. Every time that happens, guess what that does? That weakens the 1%. These people are now starting to unite. They're now starting to join together. Now they're not hating each other. Crips and Bloods started putting their flags together and celebrating in the streets. Like you think I'm bullshitting? Look at it. When Pearl Harbor hit, racism was high as fuck during that time. But after Pearl Harbor, everybody was fuck that. We are all Americans. And
Well, unless you were a Japanese American, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Well, we so disrespectful. But you get what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
9/11, everybody was like, "This is us.
Yeah.
We're going to
remember.
stick to fucking together no matter what." And then 1%
Muslim
couldn't
or
fucking.
Pakistani. Like, let's be real. Like, every time that happened, though, there were a select group of Americans that were directly affected, and that was not their reality.
But that's how they. So in order for the 1% to control the 99%, you have to keep them divided. Our country has lived on that historically. Like the word white people didn't come out to 1681 because white people that were poor as hell in Europe came to America to start their lives over, becoming indentured servants, and they worked at the exact same level as the slaves, right? So now you got a one white farmer who's got white indentured servants and white slaves, and these indentured servants and these slaves are sick of their bullshit. So how do you keep the indentured servants and the slaves away from each other? You got to separate them. You got to create a status. So then that's when they came out with the term white. You're not like us, but you look like us, so we're going to call you white. So now you're nothing like the slaves. You're actually better than the slaves, even though you live in the same conditions, but at least you're not a slave. And then they went even further. Read Willie Lynch. They went even further. The light-skinned black people were treated better than the dark-skinned black people. They're brought inside the home, and all the dark black people were put out and beat to death and all type of shit. That is our blueprint of how they control this country.
Mm-hmm.
That is the blueprint. And now that, like with Somalians are basically the new niggas.
Yeah. Yeah, blatantly,
right? And then when Somalians, especially when, like Minnesota has the largest Somalian population in the country. So they brought the Somalians here. Everybody in Minnesota is welcoming the Somalians.
Actually, I almost want to say that's correct, but I want to say the highest population of Somalians in this country, currently is, I want to say Ohio.
Right, but initially, Minnesota and there's a lot of Somalians in Liberia, and the Liberians, this is like pretty much a jump off. Unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, but.
Let's take a look real quick. I think you might be right, though.
What?
Because I think, like, right now, I think Minneapolis I think we might be leading because previously it was Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
It's us now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because we became a sanctuary state.
Yeah, and that's when and then brought the Liberians over. But every time this country starts getting along, they gotta find a way to break it up.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
And everybody falls for it like sheep every damn time.
Like, it's crazy how they on the Somali people's necks about fraud and sending it back to their country, but we just cool with the white lady that started it, right? Because everybody saw that, though, right?
Yep.
Like, at the top of the ring, at the top, very tippity top of the whole thing. And mind you, Trump keeps saying billions of dollars. It was $250 million split between the white lady and all the few Somalian people that did it. It wasn't the whole freaking population. It wasn't all of them. So why is they getting all the heat?
And that's not even a dime compared to all the politicians that take their lobbying money, their support money to vote a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not illegal. That's not an issue.
So we just cool with all the crime that's committed as long as it's done by Americans. Because mind you, the percentage of crimes committed by illegal immigrants and the crimes committed by American citizens, them numbers are dramatically different.
Very.
Insanely different, to be for real. Like, so if that's the case, should we start deporting white folks every time they do any type of crime? Because they not originally from here either. Let's be for real. Should we start deporting, like, anybody that's just not a Native American? Or, do we put the African Americans back in Africa if we mess up now, or
yeah, what's going to happen now?
Are we just going back to being slaves? What happens? Because it doesn't make sense. what they're doing does not make sense.
Even that terminology just proves what I was saying about the divide. Like, why are we called African Americans? Why are we called Mexican Americans? Why are we called Japanese Americans? And white people are just called Americans. It's like a subtitle.
That's an interesting argument too.
Because in the military, if you get captured by the enemy, right? That's the whole formality. They'll send a letter saying that we have this U.S. American soldier and captive. They don't say we have this African American soldier and this American soldier. This country is literally the most racist country on the fucking planet, because when you go overseas, and if you speak English with an American accent, you are American to those people overseas. Mm-hmm. But when you come here, you are so divided and so like socially titled, and that's how they keep us separated. Mm-hmm. It's ignorant as fuck, and it's like, but people that live here that can't even think outside the box of a tiny little town they grew up in don't understand that, don't see that, and they just accept anything. They'll fall for nothing, stand for nothing, and fall for everything. Mm-hmm. Somebody made a meme about this, so because it's a fucking meme, then it's gotta be true. Like, they won't research nothing. Trump would never do that. It is a, people understand, anything that's a court document is public record, regardless of who the fuck you are. It is a public record. Are you that lazy that to rely on a meme versus looking up an easily accessible public recorded document?
Because they don't want to do the research.
They don't want to
do research over research. You got to do your own research.
And then the other dumb thing is people say, like, well, Trump's doing this and Trump's doing that and he's doing this. Like, people, like I have a hard time debating people, right? Because people just don't understand how the government works at all, right? So in your first 4 years, or in your first term of presidency, right? Everything that you put into place has a thing called longevity, right? So everything that Obama did for 8 years, we have the longevity of that. So when Trump took office, he benefited from everything that fucking Obama did.
All of it.
And people are so dumb. Like, they keep thinking that the country resets every election. It doesn't reset every election. Everything that happened previously is longevity of it. So when he became president and reaping the benefits of everything Obama did, made his changes, right? Guess who had to suffer through those changes that he made? Biden had to suffer through those changes that he fucking made. And all of his great ideas, we suffered as a country, Republican or Democrat, regardless, right? We all suffered through that shit. So then when he comes back, well, look what the Biden administration did. No, jackass. That's from when you were fucking president and all the decisions you made. We're still living through that fucking long term of that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, this shit doesn't just start to fuck over because we got a new sworn in president. Like, people are so fucking dumb, they don't realize that shit at all. Because that's why I have a hard time talking with people, because it's just dumb.
That's why I was going over the amendments just now, because literally people out here literally do not know the amendments. They genuinely don't know.
Even more ignorant, people don't even know the 3 branches of government.
Yeah, right. And they teach you that early in school, 6th grade.
Like,
that is 6th grade social studies.
This one guy, he's like, you know, fucking Trump's a gangster. He's blah blah blah. I said, what branch of government does Trump work in? Does he work in? The Senate. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Is it judicial? Which one is it?
How the fuck were you given a right to vote? You didn't know a branch of government your hero works in.
That's insane. Like, that's insane. And if you don't know, boom, look how easy this is. Look how easy it is.
So for the viewers, make sure you do your research if you really want to.
Just the elementary knowledge of how the government
the elementary
works.
Knowledge, and actually, research if you really want to. If you don't know anything, it's always you have your phone at your hands.
We have computers
and for
at
all,
our fingertips.
For all the, I don't even care how I come across. For all the morons that don't know, your current president works in the executive branch, and then the other thing too is like everything that a president does as far as laws and policies, it's in their fucking resume. So if you're gonna say, well, he did this, he did that, pull up the policy number. Because
Okay.
every time someone says, "What an awesome job," what policy convinced you to vote for him, or what new policy has taken an immediate effect? Because they don't understand that shit doesn't happen immediately. What immediate policy happened that made him so fucking awesome? Because right now, how he canceled DEI and shit like that, whatever, right? All the money that's previously set for DEI has not been spent right now. We're not going to see the long term negative effects of the DEI, because the next president that we get, regardless of whether it's Republican or Democrat, is going to catch hell. Because they have to undo all this shit.
All of this shit.
Man,
It's gonna be a lot.
like, honest, and that's the thing. Please, please, please start voting for your Congress members. That's who's important.
Thank you.
That's
Finally,
who you
somebody
need to be
said
paying
it.
attention to. I genuinely hate when people, my votes don't matter. My votes don't matter. Did you vote for Congress?
That's
Did you vote for? Did you vote for anybody besides the fucking president?
And you know what?
Yeah.
That's what kills
that is the most historical smoke and mirror thing that this country always falls for. Because first of all, your popular vote doesn't even decide who the president is going to fucking be. It is a smoke and mirror. The only time your vote actually fucking counts for something is when you're voting for your congressman and your senate and your local officials. That's the vote that counts. But they get everybody so fucking focused on the whole presidential election thing, and then by the time it's all said and done, everybody's mentally exhausted, and then all these bullshit candidates for Congress and senators just slide right the fuck in. And then you're pissed off that your president isn't doing the job that you want them to fucking do. When you voted that at the wrong goddamn time.
Exactly.
You can literally not, everybody in the whole country can literally not participate in the presidential election. And guess what? We're still going to choose an election, because the vote that actually votes the president in is the electoral vote. Because this country feels that people are not educated enough and smart enough to actually decide and determine who the president of the United States is going to be.
Even though it's supposed to be a democracy. We can go on about this for hours, y'all. For days at that.
Yeah.
But let's wrap it up here, guys. Shout out to our producer behind the camera, Saint, doing his big one today. Hold on. Before we wrap it up, I hear some type of activity outside. Mind you, we're live on the scene of where Alex Pretti passed. Well, I should say was murdered. Let's be for real.
It's your boy.
I think there's people still out here protesting.
And they're taking pictures.
Yep. It's your boy Eddie Kane.
Hold on, let's figure out might be seeing some shit.
Before we wrap it up, people, let's figure out what's going on first, because we might get you guys some live on the scene action. Y'all, mind you, it's 1:31 a.m. and people are still out here.
That's
Okay?
That's somebody snapping.
Over the bullhorn.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, people already are tired of being trapped in. People are, and that's another thing. One thing that we didn't say, on the south side, they're currently blocked off.
Tell the police to stand down.
The National Guard, the police are blocking the whole streets. People are not allowed to leave their homes right now. They're locking them down. This is getting...
But to be honest with you, the police are actually...
The police is keeping ICE from doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, some people like getting the police and ICE
are
mixed
protecting
up.
us.
Yeah, the police isn't the problem. Like, to be real, it's you're blocking off streets for, like, people can't go nowhere. Like, people can't... What if there's an emergency?
That's why the streets are blocked out before that. And they're keeping ICE out. The police are keeping ICE out of here. That's literally what's going on.
Okay, because I was so confused. Like, people were like, "Oh, they're blocking off the streets. They're not letting
It's
people."
Sunday, January 25th, and if you're South Minneapolis or plan to go to South Minneapolis, try to stay clear of Nicklin.
Yeah,
if possible.
They're gonna send you all the way around the block. They're
There's
not
a lot
gonna
of
let you down.
checkpoints and everything.
Yeah.
But it's your boy Eddie Kane,
And Plushy Panda.
And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the 10 Podcast. We're going to be back at you. We out.